I bought a used phone. A week later, I was being investigated for child pornography. I'll just say this straight, I didn't do it. I know every guy says that. Every guy swears he's innocent. It's not mine, I don't know how it got there, you've got the wrong guy. But this time? I swear to God, it's true. I'm a regular guy. 31 years old. Work in IT. Live in Chicago, not the bad part, but not exactly the nice part either. Got a small apartment, 3 roommates, loud upstairs neighbors, and a cat I didn't ask for but somehow ended up feeding every night. A few weeks ago, my phone started glitching hard. Battery wouldn't hold a charge, screen had burn-in. One morning I woke up late for work, reached for it, and the damn thing just wouldn't turn on. I didn't have the time or money to drop $1,000 on a new one, and there was no way I was going without a phone, not in this city, not with the way I depend on it for everything from work to getting into my building. So I did what I thought made sense. Went on Facebook Marketplace, found a used Galaxy S22 for $180. Seller said he was upgrading to iPhone, which, sure, fine, whatever. Met him at a Dunkin' near my office. He looked normal. Friendly. Young, maybe 22 or 23. Had one of those hoodies with anime characters on it and said, "Bro," a lot. Told me the phone was wiped clean. Showed me it turned on, screen worked, battery was full. Cash only, of course. No receipt. I should have walked away. But I didn't. The first couple of days were fine. I logged into my Google account, set everything up, started moving over my apps. It even felt a little liberating, like I'd outsmarted the system. Good as new. Nobody at work even noticed the difference. But then one night, I was up late, couldn't sleep, and I started scrolling through the Files app. I don't even know why. Just one of those stupid things you do when you're restless. That's when I noticed a folder tucked way down in the storage, DCIM/thumbs. It had over 400 items in it. Most of them were blank or corrupted thumbnails, old cached images probably. But some of them opened. The first was a selfie, not of me. Some kid, probably the guy I bought the phone from, making a dumb face in a mirror. Then there were pictures of his cat, food, concert tickets, blurry shots of a girl's legs in jeans. I kept scrolling, not thinking anything of it. Just weird leftover junk from someone else's life. Then I opened a video. I won't say what was in it. I won't describe it. I'll just say this, it made me feel sick. Real sick. The kind of sick that stays in your stomach like a cold rock. And it made me delete the whole folder immediately, throw the phone across the room, and sit there, staring at the wall, trying to breathe. I should have gone to the police. I know that now. I should have turned in the phone and reported everything. But I panicked. All I could think was, this thing is in my possession. It has my fingerprints on it. My Google account. My data. And if I walk into a police station with that file still recoverable? Yeah. No one's going to believe me. So I deleted everything. Factory reset the phone again. This time, I nuked it for real, even used software to overwrite the data blocks. Felt like overkill, but I didn't care. I just wanted to be clean. 3 days later, I got called into the station. I wasn't arrested, not then. They said someone had reported suspicious online activity tied to an IP address connected to my phone. I sat in that little gray room for over 2 hours while a detective with a tired voice asked me about the Galaxy S22, who I bought it from, whether I ever saw anything illegal or inappropriate on it. I told the truth. Most of it, anyway. I said I bought it secondhand. That it had some old files I'd wiped. That I never looked at them. They let me go. But things changed after that. Someone, maybe one of the cops, maybe someone at work, said something. Rumors started. A few coworkers stopped talking to me. One guy on my team, Mike, wouldn't even look me in the eye during meetings. I caught HR watching me one day. Just watching, like I was some kind of threat. Then last week, a parent showed up at our office building, demanding to know why someone like me was allowed near interns. That's when I knew, this thing, whatever it is, wasn't going away. They haven't charged me yet. But I can feel the ground shifting beneath me. Friends stop replying. Calls go to voicemail. People smile tighter. Look away quicker. The phone's gone now. I threw it in the river last night. Maybe that was dumb. Maybe it made things worse. I don't know anymore. All I know is, I'm not guilty. But it doesn't matter. Because once the seed is planted, once people think maybe you're that kind of guy, it grows. And no one wants to be the one who got it wrong. They say innocent until proven guilty. But the truth is, can you ever truly prove your innocence if all the evidence points against you? After they let me go, I walked home through the rain. No umbrella, no coat. Just wet sneakers squishing with every step and a head full of noise I couldn't shut off. I didn't even notice how cold I was until I saw the steam rising off me in the mirror. I didn't sleep that night. Or the next one. Every sound outside sounded like a knock. Every knock sounded like a cop. I started keeping the living room light off and my blinds closed, not because I was hiding, but because I didn't want to be seen. It was subtle at first. A shift in how people looked at me. Our office is open floor, rows of desks, no real privacy. I could feel it, the way conversations paused when I walked by, how people avoided eye contact, like my presence was a virus they didn't want to catch. Then the joke started. One guy in sales made a "careful with your browser history" crack when I walked into the break room. Another left a printout of a "Know Your Rights" infographic on my desk, like it was some kind of helpful PSA. I laughed it off. What else could I do? Punch someone? Storm out? That'd just make it worse. But inside? I was starting to come apart. The worst part wasn't the fear of getting arrested, it was the waiting. The not knowing. Am I under surveillance? Are they building a case? Am I already on some list? I Googled things I never thought I'd have to: how digital evidence is handled, how metadata can be faked, how people have gone to jail over misidentified IPs. I read stories about men who lost everything over accusations. No convictions. Just accusations. And every time I read one, I saw my face in the headline. The cops hadn't come back yet. But someone else did. Last Thursday, I got a knock on the door. Thought it was food delivery, I'd stopped going out much. But it wasn't. It was a woman. Late 30s. Sharp eyes. Said her name was Lauren, and she had a teenage daughter in the building. She didn't waste time. "You're the guy with the phone." Just like that. No pretense. No soft landing. My stomach turned. I told her I didn't know what she was talking about. She said her daughter had seen cops here. Said people were talking. Said she just wanted to know what kind of man lived in this building. I told her again, I didn't know anything. I didn't do anything. I just bought a bad phone. That's it. She looked at me for a long time, nodded, then said something that's been bouncing around in my skull ever since. "Maybe you're telling the truth. But if you're not, I'll make sure everyone knows." She walked away. Just like that. But the damage was done. The next day, I found a sticky note on my door: "Pervert lives here." It's laughable, in a way. I never even opened those files. I never chose to have them. But it doesn't matter. That phone was in my hands. That's all it takes. That's all people need. Now I walk around with that label stuck to my back, invisible but heavy. People I've known for years cross the street to avoid me. The girl at the cafe stopped writing my name on the cup. The barbershop said they were booked up for the month, even though it was half empty. HR called me in yesterday. Said they're reevaluating roles and considering restructuring. But we both knew what it meant. They want me gone. And the thing is, I don't blame them. Because if I were them, if I heard what they heard, saw what they think they saw, I might believe it too. That's the part that breaks me. The idea that even if I claw my way out of this, I'll never be who I was before. Not really. There'll always be that shadow. That question. That maybe. And the scariest thing? That maybe, for the rest of my life, the only person who knows I'm innocent, is me. After Lauren's visit, I started counting who was still talking to me. 3 people. Out of dozens. One of them was Liam, my roommate. He's 26, into photography, barely home. I caught him coming in late the other night, earbuds in, camera bag slung over his shoulder. He gave me this weird half-smile, didn't say much, just nodded and slipped into his room. That used to mean nothing. Now it means everything. He hasn't said anything to me since. I know he's read the posts, seen the looks, heard the whispers. He just hasn't said it out loud yet. And I think that's what people do when they don't know how to ask, is it true? The silence is easier. The second person is my cousin, Andrea. We've never been close, but she reached out after seeing one of the threads online. Some local forum where my name got posted, first name only, thank God, but with enough detail that anyone who knew me would put it together. She texted me one word, "You okay?" I didn't respond at first. What do you even say? But after 2 days of staring at the screen, I wrote back, no. Not really. She hasn't replied since. The third is my boss. Or, was. Yesterday, he called me into his office. No HR rep, no formal write-up. Just him, sitting there with his elbows on the desk like he was trying to be a friend instead of a manager. He said it wasn't about the rumors, but of course it was. He said things like, we're tightening up the team and reputation is everything when we deal with clients. Said it with that tight, corporate smile people use when they're telling you you're being let go but want you to feel like it's a win-win. He handed me a check for 2 weeks' pay and a pamphlet about career transition support. Then he added, quietly, almost like a favor. If there's anything you need to tell someone, man, this is your window. And I just stood there, gripping the check, nodding like an idiot. Because what else was I supposed to say? Yeah, I bought a used phone. And now I'm radioactive. After I left, I sat in the stairwell for half an hour. Couldn't bring myself to walk out the front door and face the world. Because I knew what was waiting out there. It wasn't jail. Not yet. It was something worse. You want to know what really gets inside your head? It's not the police. It's the doubt. The creeping, soul-splitting thought that maybe, this is how it's all going to go down. That one random decision, one stupid, harmless little shortcut, is going to be the thing that buries you. I used to joke with my friends about how we live in a panopticon. Your life's just a Google search away, I'd say. We thought we were being clever. Now I think about that every day. That somewhere, someone might be scrolling through old social posts, piecing together a version of me that fits the narrative. That someone's digging into the metadata of a photo I forgot I uploaded. That my LinkedIn profile is just sitting there like a public resume for a job I'll never get again. I'm applying for new work, of course. I have to. Bills don't care if your life's been upended. But every time I click submit, I imagine them Googling my name. Seeing the threads. Reading the forums. Maybe they believe it. Maybe they don't. But either way, the call never comes. I've thought about going to the cops again. Sitting down, laying it all out. Telling them everything. The kid I bought it from. The folder. The panic. The deletion. But what's the endgame? They already talked to me. They already have whatever they need. If they wanted to arrest me, they would have done it. If they wanted to clear me, they'd have said something. But they haven't. And so I'm stuck in this weird purgatory. Not charged. Not innocent. Just, suspect. You ever try dating when you're under suspicion of owning illegal content? Yeah. That part of my life's dead too. I keep coming back to that one moment. That folder. That first photo. I still see it when I close my eyes. Not the image itself, I don't let myself remember that. But the feeling. The sick, sinking, hollowing out dread. Like something irreversible had just happened. And I didn't even know it yet. People say, innocent until proven guilty. But out here, in the real world, it doesn't work that way. Out here, it's guilty until someone more powerful decides otherwise. Until then, you're just trying to keep your head above water while everyone around you swims away. The apartment feels smaller now. I used to like the chaos, the clatter of dishes, the smell of someone else's dinner, the music bleeding through the walls. It felt alive. Like I was part of something bigger than myself. Now every sound feels like an intrusion. Every knock, every ring, every shuffle of feet in the hallway feels like a warning. I moved my bed away from the window. Started sleeping on the floor some nights, just to be out of sight. Not because I think someone's coming for me, not physically, but because the fear of being seen has dug itself into my bones. A few days ago, I saw someone taking photos of the building across the street. Some random guy with a camera, probably just doing street shots. But for 20 minutes, I stood frozen by the fridge, wondering if he was there because of me. That's what it does to you, the suspicion. It rewires your brain. Every glance becomes surveillance. Every silence becomes judgment. I got a message last night. Not an email. Not a text. A plain white envelope, slid under my door. Inside was a single printed photo, a screen grab of me, in the cafe near work, staring at my phone. The timestamp showed it was taken a week before the cops called me in. No note. No sender. Just a picture. Proof that someone's been watching me longer than I knew. I sat there staring at it for an hour. Trying to convince myself it didn't mean anything. That it was just coincidence. A fluke. Maybe a friend messing around. But I knew better. This isn't just paranoia anymore. Someone is trying to pin this on me. Or scare me into disappearing. Or both. And here's the sick part, I don't even know which would be worse. I tried contacting the seller again. The kid from Facebook Marketplace. The account's gone. Wiped. No listings. No messages. Just a blank profile with the name, Jonas, and a photo of a cartoon raccoon flipping off the camera. I've searched every variation I can think of. Reverse image searched his profile pic. Nothing. The guy disappeared, and I'm the one left holding the bag. I even walked back to the Dunkin' where we met, thinking maybe I could talk to someone, check the cameras, something. The cashier said they wipe footage every 10 days. It's been 3 weeks. Another dead end. Last night I had a dream. I was in a courtroom, wearing the same shirt I'd worn the day I bought the phone. Everything was gray, the walls, the floor, even the faces of the jury. The prosecutor didn't speak. He just held up the phone and pointed at me. And I couldn't talk. Couldn't open my mouth. I tried to scream, but nothing came out. Then the judge stood up. It was Lauren, the woman from my building. She banged the gavel once and said, "He looked guilty." That was enough. Guilty. I called my mom this morning. First time in months. She lives out in Michigan, small town, still uses a flip phone. She doesn't know what Reddit is. She doesn't know about the forums, the posts, the rumors. And I wanted to keep it that way. But the first thing she said was, "Are you okay? You sound like you haven't been sleeping." I said I was fine. She asked if I was eating. I said I was fine. She said, "You're not, though." I didn't answer. She didn't push. That's the thing about my mom. She's not the talkative type. Never has been. But when she says something, it sticks. Before we hung up, she said something that broke me more than anything else has. If you ever need to come home, you know the door's open. Just, don't wait too long. Some things, once they settle in people's minds, don't ever come out. I haven't been outside in 2 days. My phone, the new one, bought legit from a store, hasn't buzzed. No texts. No emails. No missed calls. It's like the world decided to move on without me. Like I've already been erased. But I'm still here. Sitting in this box of a room, scrolling through job boards I won't hear back from, checking locks that are already locked, rehearsing explanations that no one will ever believe. People always say the truth sets you free. But I'm telling the truth. And I've never felt more trapped. It's been 26 days since that first knock on my door. I know because I've been counting them. Scratched little lines in the back of a notebook I used to use for meal prep ideas. Now it's just a log of silence. No arrests. No charges. No answers. But also, no peace. This is a different kind of prison. No bars. Just a neighborhood that looks the same but treats you like you changed. Like you stepped off the edge of the map, and now everyone's afraid you might drag them with you. I tried to go back to the gym yesterday. Just to do something, anything, that made me feel like a person again. I didn't even make it past the front desk. The manager gave me this stiff little smile, the kind you give someone you're about to fire or evict, and said, "Sorry, your membership's been flagged. You'll need to contact corporate." I asked what the issue was. He shrugged. Not my call. Then he leaned in and lowered his voice. "Look, man, off the record. You might want to lay low for a while." As if I hadn't already been buried. Later that night, Liam finally said something. I was microwaving noodles. He came into the kitchen, opened the fridge, and just stood there. Not moving. Not looking at me. Then he said, "Hey, is there something I should know?" I didn't answer right away. He shut the fridge. Turned around. Arms crossed. "I'm not accusing you, dude. But it's weird. People are talking. Online, even. Like, are you in trouble?" I looked at him. Not mad. Just tired. "No, I'm not in trouble. Trouble's in me." He stared at me like he didn't get it. Like I was speaking a different language. And I guess I was. Because unless you've been through it, this slow erasure of your character, your credibility, your right to exist without suspicion, you can't understand. He nodded once. Said, "Okay." Then went to his room and closed the door. I filed for unemployment this morning. The lady on the phone was polite, cheerful even. Said I might qualify, depending on the details. She asked if I'd been fired for misconduct. I said no. But I hesitated just long enough for her to pause. "You sure?" she asked. I told her I left on my own terms. She marked the form and moved on. I could tell she didn't believe me. Not really. Nobody does anymore. I saw another thread online last night. Someone posted, "Avoid this guy, might be dangerous." No proof. Just a blurry photo of me at the bus stop, hood up, hands in pockets. I reported it. Doubt anything will come of it. The replies were worse than the post. People speculating. He's definitely hiding something. Guilty look all over him. Check his laptop. One person said, "I bet he isn't guilty, but who cares? He gives off the vibe." That's enough. That one got 123 upvotes. It's funny. You can tell the truth 1,000 times, and it won't stick. But one lie, said loud enough, becomes your whole identity. There's this thing I keep thinking about, a line from a movie or something. Can't remember which one. But it goes, you can't prove a negative. That's what this is. I can't prove what I didn't do. I can show you my texts, my Google history, my receipts. I can walk you through the moment I bought the phone, the folder I found, the panic, the erasure. But none of it will matter. Because there's no positive proof of innocence. Just empty hands and a nervous face and a past you can't touch without gloves. I still have the photo. The one slid under my door. Sometimes I take it out and just look at it, trying to figure out what they saw in me. What made them target me? Was it random? Or did they know? That scares me more than the cops. The idea that someone's out there, setting people up like this. Dumping trash into your lap and calling it yours. Letting you burn while they watch. And the worst part? No one would stop them. Because once you've been tainted, nobody wants to get their hands dirty trying to clean you up. You ever hear that quote, a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes? Well, my shoes are on. But the lie's already built a house. Thrown a party. Made friends. And I'm still standing here, trying to explain that I never even went to the damn address. This morning, someone keyed my car. Just one long, deliberate line across the driver's side door, from the front headlight all the way back to the gas tank. I stood there staring at it for 5 minutes, grocery bag in hand, watching the condensation form on the windshield. It wasn't even the damage that got me. It was the message. Because that's what it was. A message. Not written in words, but in the time it takes to do something like that. The calm, casual motion of someone who felt justified. Someone who saw my car, and maybe me, as a threat that needed punishing. I looked around, but no one was watching. No one ever is when it matters. I tried to file a police report. Not because I thought it would change anything, but because I needed to feel like I could still do something. The officer at the desk was polite. Detached. He handed me the form and told me to fill in what I could. When I got to the part that asked, "Do you suspect anyone?" I froze. I wanted to write, the person who took the photo. The one who started this. The one I can't name or find. But I didn't. Because it wouldn't matter. Not without proof. Instead, I left it blank. The form went into a pile. He said someone might follow up. But we both knew no one would. Vandalism, no suspect, no camera, it'll sit in a drawer and die there. Just like my explanation did. I tried reaching out to a lawyer. Told him everything. Laid it all out. From the phone, to the folder, to the police visit, to the fallout. I even showed him the screen caps from the online threads. The threats. The accusations. He listened. Nodded. Then he said, "You're not being charged." Not yet. And if that stays true, my advice? Keep your head down. I asked him what I could do to clear my name. He gave me this look, part pity, part exhaustion. There's no legal mechanism to prove you didn't do something. Not unless someone else confesses. Or there's new evidence. And then he said the part one can't forget. Sometimes the damage isn't legal. It's social. And the law can't fix that. It's weird, the things you miss when the world turns its back on you. I miss standing in line for coffee without feeling eyes on me. I miss dumb small talk about the weather. I miss being just another face in a room, not that guy, not him, not maybe the one from the news thread. I miss being boring. Safe. Forgettable. I got a call from Andrea again, the cousin who texted once, then ghosted. She said she saw another post about me. This time in a parenting group on Facebook. Some mom claiming she recognized me at a park near a school and wanted to warn others. I haven't been near a school in over a year. And I haven't stepped foot in that park since before winter. But it doesn't matter. People don't care if it's true. They care if it feels plausible. And once a lie fits the shape of their fear, it becomes fact. Andrea's voice cracked when she said, "I don't know how to help you." I told her, "Just don't stop believing me." She was quiet a long time. Then she whispered, "I won't." I thought about deleting everything. Going dark. Wiping my online presence. Changing my number. Moving somewhere new. Starting over. But even if I ran, the story would follow. Because it's not a story that lives on paper. It lives in whispers. In eyes that linger too long. In jobs that never call back. In neighbors who stop saying hello. You don't outrun that. You live in it. You carry it. Like a brand. And no one asks if it hurt when they put it there. There's a word I read recently, unperson. It's from Orwell. Meant to describe someone erased from existence by the state. But I think you can be unpersoned without any government getting involved. All it takes is one mistake. One transaction. One folder full of someone else's secrets. And suddenly you're a danger. A headline. A shadow. And then you're nothing at all. It's strange, I used to have a face. Not in the literal sense, but in the way people looked at me. Recognized me. Called me by name. Said it with a smile. Now when people say my name, if they say it at all, it's like it tastes bad in their mouth. Like they're afraid saying it too loud might make them complicit. I went to my usual corner store today. I hadn't been back since everything started. Used to be on a first-name basis with the guy behind the counter. Mo. Knew my coffee order, always threw in a free pack of gum when I looked like I'd had a rough week. Today, he barely looked at me. Rang me up, handed me the change, and said nothing. No, how you been? No nod. No gum. Just silence. Like I wasn't a person anymore. Just a headline in waiting. I check the news every day now. Not out of habit. Out of fear. I search my name. I search variations of it. I check for mugshots, articles, even vague references. I scan Reddit, Facebook, the neighborhood forums. Nothing yet. But every silence feels temporary. Like the sky holding back rain that's coming no matter what. The internet doesn't forget. It just waits for more fuel. The detective called me back this week. Just a short check-in, he said. Standard follow-up. Wanted to reconfirm details. Asked again about the seller, the time, the place. My exact steps. I told him the same story, word for word. I've memorized it now, not because I'm hiding something, but because I have to get it right. One contradiction, one hesitation, and I'm done. He didn't accuse me. Didn't threaten. But he ended the call with this. We'll be in touch. Don't leave town. And that's when I realized something. I can't leave. Not really. Even if I packed a bag and ran, I'd take the suspicion with me. It's sewn into me now, stitched into my name, my shadow, the way strangers look at me sideways when I walk into a room. I'm not just trapped in this city. I'm trapped in me. You want to know the worst part? I've started doubting myself. Not about what I did, I know I didn't do anything. But about how I'm handling it. About how I should have seen this coming, or done something differently. Why didn't I go to the police the moment I saw that folder? Why didn't I keep the phone, hand it over, prove it wasn't mine? Why didn't I record the sale? Get a receipt? Ask for ID? But those are things you think of in hindsight. When the damage is already done. When the world's already made up its mind. You don't prepare for something like this. You don't expect it. You just survive it. If you can. I was looking through old photos last night, just trying to feel like I used to. There's one from a barbecue last summer. Me, laughing, burger in one hand, beer in the other. No worries. No suspicion. I stared at that photo for a long time, trying to remember what it felt like to laugh without caution. But that guy in the picture? He's gone. Replaced by someone who double-checks the lock 3 times before bed. Who flinches when a stranger says his name. Who lives in a body the world now treats like a loaded gun. There's a girl I used to talk to. Emily. We met through friends, got drinks a few times. Nothing serious, but there was something there. She messaged me last night. First time in weeks. She said, "I don't know what to believe." I didn't reply. What could I even say? That I understand? That I don't blame her? That even I don't know what to believe anymore? Some lies are so powerful they bend the truth around them, until everything feels like doubt. Even the facts. Even yourself. I'm tired. Not the kind of tired you fix with sleep. The kind that sinks into your bones, heavy and quiet, like grief you don't have a name for. They say time heals all wounds. But they never tell you what to do when time is the wound. When every hour that passes is another thread in a noose you can't prove you didn't tie. Some nights I still pick up the new phone and scroll like everything's normal. I check the weather. I watch cooking videos I'll never try. I open dating apps I haven't used in weeks. Sometimes I'll even swipe, just to pretend someone out there might still see me as a clean slate. But I never match with anyone anymore. And honestly, I get it. Because when your name's floating through forums, when your face has been attached to whispers, you're not a person anymore. You're a warning. A red flag. A risk. I've started walking at night. Not far. Just a few blocks around the neighborhood, hoodie up, earbuds in, not playing anything, just enough to pretend. It's the only time I feel invisible now. Under the cover of dark, in the quiet hum of a sleeping city, I can just be nobody again. Not the guy from the phone. Not the maybe suspect. Not the man everyone's watching but no one's talking to. Just a silhouette. Just another set of footsteps. Last night, I passed a group of guys standing outside a bar. One of them looked at me too long. When I glanced back, he leaned in to his friend and said something I couldn't hear, but I could feel it. That low, humming judgment. The kind that doesn't need words. I walked faster. Not because I was afraid of them. But because I was afraid I might snap. That one day, the weight of all this quiet accusation might finally crack me open, and I'll say or do something I can't take back. Something they will believe. I got a letter in the mail yesterday. From the landlord. Said they're doing routine inspections in a few weeks. Wants access to all units. Says it's standard. Nothing personal. But I know better. I've lived here 4 years. Never once had an inspection that wasn't prompted by something. It's not about pipes or vents. It's about me. Someone said something. Or everyone did. And now they're coming to look. To see for themselves if the rumors are true. If the monster is real. I boxed up my hard drive. Hid my journals. Not because I'm hiding anything, but because I've learned that evidence and truth aren't the same thing. What matters is how it looks. And right now, everything I touch looks dirty. I talked to my brother for the first time in months. We were never close, but blood's still blood, and I guess he saw something, maybe online, maybe from Mom. He called late, voice low like he was already embarrassed for even dialing. "Are you in trouble?" he asked. I wanted to say no. But instead, I asked, would it matter? He paused. Then he said, "You always were the weird one." And then he hung up. That one stuck. Harder than I thought it would. Not because it wasn't true. But because it was the closest thing I've had to family in weeks. I made a list today. Just names. People I've lost because of this. Coworkers. Friends. Neighbors. Casual acquaintances who used to wave or nod or smile. 23 names. Some unfriended me. Some blocked me. Some just drifted away. Like I was suddenly made of smoke and guilt and things they didn't want to get on them. You know what they all have in common? None of them asked me what happened. Not one. I keep thinking about the guy who sold me the phone. Just some skinny kid in a hoodie with shaky hands and a forced smile. The kind of guy who could disappear into a crowd without a trace. And that's exactly what he did. I don't even know if his name was real. Don't know if the profile picture was his. Don't know if he ever existed beyond that 5-minute transaction in a parking lot where I thought I was just buying a phone, not a sentence. I wonder where he is now. If he's doing this to someone else. Or if he's laughing. Or if he's the one scared, too. People ask why I don't fight back. Why I haven't gone public with my side. Made a video. Told my story. Sued someone. Demanded justice. But that's the thing. The moment I speak louder, I become the guy protesting too much. The guy who's trying to bury something. The guy who's deflecting. There's no winning. There's only surviving. And some days, even that feels like too much. The inspection came and went. 2 maintenance guys and the landlord showed up at 9:07 a.m. sharp. Clipboard, forced smiles, polite nods. Asked if I'd had any issues with the plumbing. I said no. They said, just a routine check, like they were actors playing landlords. They looked at everything. Cabinets. Closets. Under the sink. Even the router. They didn't ask for permission to open things. They just did. I watched them from the corner of the room like a guest in my own life. Trying not to look nervous. Trying not to look like the kind of person who has something to hide, even though I don't. But that's the trap, isn't it? They're not looking for what's there. They're looking for how you act. They left after 20 minutes. Said, thanks for your cooperation. Said it like they were closing a file in their minds. I don't know what they were hoping to find. But they didn't find it. Not this time. That night, the super passed me in the hall. He didn't say anything. Didn't even nod. Just kept walking. But as he passed, he turned his face, like I smelled bad. Like being near me too long might get him infected. I stood there after he walked away, alone in the fluorescent hallway. And I realized something. I've become the test no one wants to fail. The person everyone wants to be seen avoiding. Because to stand next to me is to invite doubt. And no one wants that, not in their social life, not in their lease, not in their inbox. Guilt by proximity is still guilt. I've started narrating my own life in my head. Like I'm leaving a record behind. Like someone's going to ask one day, so what did you do when the world thought you were a predator? And the answer will be, I made toast. I checked the locks. I tried not to cry. I looked out the window and hoped I'd wake up somewhere else. I went to a cafe 2 neighborhoods over. Somewhere no one would recognize me. Ordered black coffee and sat in the corner with my back to the wall, facing the room. Old habit now. Comes natural. There was a girl reading at the next table. Long hair, quiet eyes, the kind of peace you can't fake. She looked up and caught me looking. I smiled out of instinct. She didn't smile back. Just stared. Not cold, not kind, just calculating. Like she was wondering if she'd seen my face somewhere before. If she should be worried. If she should move. She didn't. But she didn't relax either. She packed up 5 minutes later and left without looking at me again. I wonder, sometimes, what I'd say if I could sit every accuser down in a room. If I could look them in the eye and tell them what happened, all of it, raw and unfiltered. Would they believe me? Would you? Because here's what I've learned. Truth doesn't stand a chance against fear. It doesn't matter how honest your voice is if people have already decided what a monster sounds like. Emily messaged me again. Said she saw my name in a local Facebook group, Chicago Parents Against Predators, or something like that. Someone posted a photo of me walking past a school bus stop, said they didn't feel safe. I was just going to the laundromat. Emily's message just said, I know you. I don't believe them. But I don't know how to help you. I stared at it for a long time. Then I wrote, you don't have to help me. Just don't look away. She didn't reply. Not yet, anyway. That's the thing I miss most, being looked at without suspicion. Not praise. Not attention. Just neutral presence. That casual human acknowledgement that says, you belong here, too. Because now, every glance is a calculation. Is he dangerous? Is he lying? Is he one of those? And no matter what I say, the world keeps measuring me against a crime I didn't commit. A crime I didn't choose. A crime I didn't even know I was holding in my hand when I bought that goddamn phone. It's been 2 months. No charges. No arrest. No headlines. But no apology either. No phone call. No exoneration. No moment of someone saying, we were wrong. Just silence. That same heavy, suspicious silence that lingers in every room I walk into. I used to think being innocent meant something. That if you didn't do the thing, if you didn't commit the crime, then the truth would rise up and clear your name like some righteous tide. But that's not how it works. Truth doesn't come with a siren. It doesn't make noise. It doesn't beg to be heard. Lies, though? Lies have momentum. They gather in groups, in comments, in whispers behind your back. They find the darkest part of your life and shine a spotlight on it, whether or not it matters. And when you try to speak, when you try to explain, people don't hear facts. They hear defense. And defense sounds like guilt. I don't know what happens next. I'm still out of work. Still alone. Still walking the same cracked sidewalks, trying to look normal, trying to look safe. I eat less now. Sleep worse. Trust no one. Not because I think everyone's out to get me, but because I've learned they don't have to be. All it takes is one accusation. One missing receipt. One phone passed from hand to hand until it ends up in yours. And suddenly your life's a crime scene with no blood, no body, just the wrong timing, and a name that people start whispering like it's cursed. I kept a folder on my laptop. Called it, just in case. It has a timeline. Screenshots. GPS records. My pay stubs. The factory reset logs. Notes from every interaction with the detective. I even printed it all and put it in a real folder, with labels, like I was building a case for my own defense. But no one's asked for it. Because there's no courtroom for this. This trial happened in hallway glances. In back-channel emails. In the empty space between what people think and what they know. And I lost. Sometimes I stand in the mirror and try to say, I'm innocent. Just to see how it sounds. Most days it doesn't sound like anything. Just words. Empty air. Like trying to prove water isn't poison after someone already died drinking it. Last week, the detective called again. Said the investigation was closed. No charges. No record. Just like that. When I asked what happened, he paused. Said they traced the phone's IP history and confirmed it was tied to another address before I bought it. They're looking into it. Looking into it. That's what I get. After months of being shadowboxed by suspicion, after losing my job, my friends, my peace, all I get is, we're looking into it. I wanted to scream. I wanted to laugh. I wanted to ask him if he knew what it's like to be erased in slow motion. But I didn't say any of that. I just said, thank you. Because what else was left? I thought that call would fix something. That it'd feel like being let out of a cell. But I didn't feel free. I felt hollow. Like the punishment already happened. And now I'm just walking around after the fact, with a face no one trusts and a name no one says out loud anymore. You ever try to rebuild a reputation? You ever try to prove you're not the thing someone else decided you are? You can't. Not really. You can only keep living. Keep breathing. Keep walking past the stairs and pretending they don't make you flinch. Some days I think about leaving. Changing my name. Moving out west. Starting over where no one knows me. Somewhere with dry air and silence that doesn't feel like accusation. Other days, I think about staying. Staying here. Taking up space. Making them look at me. Forcing the city to remember I didn't vanish. That I didn't deserve what they did. That I was just a guy who needed a phone. I bought a new one last week. From a real store. Sealed box. Receipt. Warranty and all. Still felt wrong holding it. Like I was picking up a gun I didn't know how to disarm. That's what trauma does. Turns every ordinary thing into something with teeth. So this is where I leave it. No clean ending. No redemption arc. No villain unmasked. Just me. Still here. Still trying to remember who I was before all this, and wondering if that guy ever really existed at all. You can tell me what you think. You can believe me or not. But let me ask you this. If the world decided you were guilty tomorrow, if someone handed you the wrong phone at the wrong time, how would you prove it wasn't yours? And more importantly, would anyone believe you?